Need to watch Beyond Today because I spent 6 years of my life figuring out all this stuff just to come to a simple realization that everything my mentors were telling me was all the same information, and I just didn't know how to use the information. So now that I know how to use the information, I'm coming to tell you exactly what all those years taught me, which is insane to say. I never would have thought I would have gotten to a point that I could make one singular video of what manifestation is and how to get everything you want. However, this is going to be the most potent video I've ever created, but also seen on manifestation, and that is not a lie. That is the absolute truth. So, essentially, the only reason you don't have what you want is because you want it. When you want something, you're in the energy of not having it. Want is the opposite of having. If I have water, why would I want water? If there's a water bottle in my hand, why would I want water if I have water in my hand? If I have food in my fridge, why would I wonder where my next meal is coming from? I wouldn't. I would never worry about food because I have it. I don't worry about, right now, in my actual experience, I don't worry about money because all my wants and needs are all taken care of all the time. There's never a time where my want and need is not taken care of. So why would I ever want things to change? Why would I ever want something different? That's different from having a desire. And that's where my breakthrough came, is when I realized that wanting something to change and wanting something more or different or to expand a certain experience are two different things. It's the difference between having a job and wanting a better job versus being unemployed, having no job, no income, or no financial stability, and then trying to manifest having a job. So the only thing you need to do to manifest is to understand what you currently have and have the intention to have more of it. If you have the intention of having more of it, you are going to have more things. And if you already have, let's just say you have a job and you are so content with the job that you have, you will continue to have whatever that job is, whatever aspect of that job is making you happy. So if the aspect of the job that's making you the happiest is that it pays you a good amount and that allows you to travel, that allows you to pay your bills on time with auto pay. You never have to worry about where your next money or your next deposit is going to come from. You never have to worry about how you're going to go on a trip, or you never have to worry about anything, right? Because this job provides everything that you need financially. It allowed you to meet your favorite coworkers. It allowed you to meet your boss who has taught you so much about life. And you're just so grateful for that experience. You are putting out the energy of having a really great job experience. So if you don't currently have a good job experience and you want a good job experience, you don't need to be manifesting a job. You don't need to be manifesting something you don't have. What you need to do is look at your current life, see what you have currently, what you love about your current life, and then just be happy that you have it. For instance, I want to give a really good example. Let me just go back into the energy part of it first. So the energy that you carry is the reason why you have the things you have. The universe, God, divine, whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe in. My beliefs aren't to be discussed. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you believe, that energy is going to come back to you, whatever you're giving out, okay? So if you're giving out impoverished energy of You can't have this, you can't have that, I don't have this, I don't have that. Constantly manifesting or wanting something different. Sitting up all night scripting, I want a job, I want a job, I want a job, I want a job. You're going to continue to get the experience of wanting a job reflected back to you. The universe is going to say, she wants a job. So I'm going to have her see all these great opportunities, continue to have her getting these applications. I'm even going to have her apply for some of them. And then she's not going to be able to achieve anything that she's trying to go for because she told me that she wants it. She's not in having energy. So how is she going to have the job? She's not. She's going to want the job. So you continue to experience wanting the job. The main point of this video is that whatever you put out is going to come back to you. So if you can be content with your life right now, you're going to be content with your life forever. Point blank, period. You can manifest money and then it manifests a ton of money 1 month and then you never make that same money ever again for the rest of your life till you die. You can manifest having a great relationship and then you have a great relationship and you manifest getting married and then you can get divorced and have a terrible divorce and never maintain that thing. You can manifest having a great job. You apply for a great job. You crack the code to getting this great job. And then you can get fired the next day. Right? Just because you get fired from a job, you lose a relationship, or you lose the amount of money you were making, does not mean that your life got worse. It does not mean that your life got worse, and it does not mean that your life is not what it's supposed to be. And that's what I'm saying. Your energy of what you currently are experiencing is what's going to bring you more of what you want. Because if you were to get something and lose it, let's just say lose it, like it's here and then it's not. If you are no longer happy because it's gone, you are upset because it's gone, you are not satisfied because it's not there anymore, that means that you put that thing on a pedestal. You wanted that thing. And so even if you get it for a small amount of time, you're going to be put back into the energy of wanting it, which is why it doesn't stay. Nothing will have staying power if you want it. And that's the thing about it. People will use this manifestation technique of, I want this, I want that, I manifest this, I manifest that. And then when they actually manifest it, they go on the internet. Where's my brow? Oh, it's in my lap. They go on the internet and they say, here's how to manifest your dream husband. Buy my course. Nothing wrong with selling a course. But I'm just saying. Here's how to manifest your dream husband. Here's a course. Oh my gosh, this is how I manifested my dream wife. Here's my course. Here's how I manifested my dream business. Here's a course. And those same people can experience that thing leaving their experience. And first, you would never know because they have the receipts of it once being there. And you think, because you are a programmed person, you think, okay, well, they had this great business, so they must be still making the same amount of money. There are a lot of people who have a business who started a course and they no longer have that business, or that business ran into the ground, but they're still making money off that course idea because they had the results. That's actually a cheat code. If you do something really great, make sure to have receipts of it, because you can always get money, always make money off having the receipts of something, because people do not understand that. Actually, people do not understand that your results will come and go. They will just think, oh, she had that thing, so now of course she has that thing. Of course I'm going to buy this course from this person because she obviously still has it. That's not always the case, but I digress. That's a whole different point. The point here is, if your life it's not content now, it will never be content. In my reality, I've been experiencing a lot of this one topic, which is working hard to build a life that never comes to you. Because, it's a good point. Because you're wanting to build a life. You're in the energy of wanting this life. And so you say, oh my gosh, I want to build this life. So guess what you do? You work really hard. You get this job and that job. You have this partner and that partner. You continue living your life. And then what do? You continue to convince yourself that you're actually building a life you want. When really, the whole time, you've just been convincing yourself that you can't already have the life that you want. Because you think it, one, takes work. And two, you think that you don't know how to get there. And you think out the way to get there. And then you follow the way that you thought you were going to get there. Without actually ever stopping to say, did I spray my face already? Did I? I think I did. You never stop to ask yourself, how did I say I wanted to have this big business by 40? I've been working 20 years towards it and I'm still working towards it. Why are you still working towards it? There's nothing wrong with working towards something. It's just that you're not in the energy of having. You're in the energy of wanting. So if you're in the energy of wanting energy comes back to you. If you're in the energy of having energy is always going to come back to you. And luckily for you, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, all know what you want. They all know your exact desires. They all know exactly what you want to see in your life. They all know exactly the thing deepest in your soul, right? And this also comes to another point of, it starts with a C, uncertain energy, certainty, the energy of certainty. If you are uncertain about something, you're convincing yourself that you're not allowed to have what you want. It's ridiculous. It's actually arrogant and ridiculous to say that someone can have something and because you're not them, that you can't have it. Because that's essentially telling God, your principles don't work for everybody. They only work for certain people, and I'm not one of those people. It's saying, I want this thing, but I can't have it because it just like this principle that you built the entire universe off of just doesn't work for me. It like just me. Like it works for other people, but not me. It can't work for me. And he's just looking at you in your face or whatever you believe in. It's just looking at even your higher self is looking you in your face and saying, okay, well, your wish is my command. Ooh, that could have been dangerous right there. But yeah, then you get the energy back. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have what I want. Everybody's looking at you like, well, you said you couldn't have it, so you don't. The other part of this is that if you have uncertain energy, you're going to bring back uncertain energy. Again, there is a very common theme with getting what you want in life. It's all about what energy do you have right now? What are you feeling right now? What do you currently have right now? And this is also where gratitude comes in, and not gratitude in the way that you think. Ooh, what type of lip color should I do? I want more blush. But this is where gratitude comes in, right? Because how will you know what you have if you don't look at your current life? If you're too scared to look at your bank account and you're too scared to go to your, like I used to be like in high school kind of, that's gorgeous. Ooh, so pretty. In high school, I used to be afraid to look at my text messages because I would be scared that nobody would text me. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, nobody's gonna text me, so I'm just not gonna look. And then I would go like 3 or 4 days without looking at my phone, my text messages on my phone, like clicking on the text message little bubble app thing, whatever. And then I would be so happy when I clicked on it and there was a text message in it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, no, people actually do like me. And I had to realize, like, you're insane to think that everyone can have friends and you can't. That everyone is cool and you're not. That everyone is this and you're... And I got over that very quickly. Before I even knew what I was doing in regards to that. But when you are in whatever energy that you have is what's going to come back to you. So how do you get in a good energy if you don't already have that thing? Again, like I said, if you have... Okay, let me just... You know what? I kind of need this dry erase board right here. That would be great. Let me put on a lip color. I think I'm going to use this. I'm going to get out. I literally have a whiteboard in front of me and I'm about to pull it out. I wore this yesterday, this color, and I was like, yeah. I got this last Christmas and I've never really dig the color like that. But now I'm obsessed with it. So let's get this board. Literally cleaned it a few days ago. Right? So your desire. Your desire is the thing that, this is probably backwards, but the desire is, ooh, the desire is the thing that you want, right? So you want the house, you want the car, let's just call it a house, right? Your desire is a house. This is more like a, anyways, this is your desire, right? So what's the next step after that? Where does, this is good. Where does this show up right now? Question mark. Ask yourself this. I'm going to put this here. Ask yourself. You can ask yourself or you can journal it. Journaling is great when you feel like you don't have an answer. Journaling is good because it brings out the answer. But if you already know the answer, just speak it. It's just like either way. Where does it show up right now? So if your desire is a house, think about why you want the house and how does that currently show up right now? So where do you currently live? Why do you like the house? Is it the area that the house is in? Is it certain features of the house? Was it the people who you bought the house from? Or no. Let me go back. Let's just say you live in an apartment. This is a better example. And you're trying to move into a house. Your desire is the house. You ask yourself, where does this currently show up? Okay, your house is where you live. And this stuff is so like raw downloaded because you can't Google any of this. So I'm putting the ideas together as I'm speaking them, which is always my favorite part. So you ask yourself, where does it show up? Okay, you start to think about why you want that house. Why do you want that desire? Okay, I want that desire. I want this house because I want to change where I live. Okay, why? Like, there's got to be a reason why you want the house, okay? You want to change where you live. You want the features of a house. You want to be able to park your car in a garage. You want to be able to have the what is it called? HSA. What is it? Not HSA. HOA community. You want to be able to have your own, like, entity without having to live underneath or above people or next to people in the same building confinement. You want to be able to blah, 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 right? You know your desire. You know why you want to move. You know why you want the house. You know why you want the relationship. You know why. Okay. Then you say, how do these things show up right now? So if your reasons were, I want to live in XYZ neighborhood and get this house. I want to park my car in a garage. And I want to, let's just use those two. Right? Where you actually, no, this is so good. Let's just say you want extra space from an apartment to the house. let's just say the apartment is small and you want more space. The second thing is you don't want to live above or beneath people or next to people in the same building. You want to have your own entity where you can laugh, scream, invite people over, have your own space, whatever, right? The only difference between you thinking you have to have the house to have that thing is because you don't think you can have those emotions now. You don't think that you could not live above and beneath people right now in your apartment. You also don't think this is good. You don't think that you would have the space that you need in your current apartment, and you think you need the house to have that thing. This is good. I'm sorry, this is good. So, because in your mind, you're like, yeah, the house is bigger, so it does more space. You're like, well, yeah, the house is like just me and my bedrooms. So why would, like, I can't live next to people or above people in the house. Yeah, so I need the house to have that experience. So once you identify the things that you want that desire for, right? We want the house to have the space and to not live above and beneath people. Once you identify that, you ask yourself, how can I have that experience right now? What part of my life can I be more content in? What part of my life can I be more happy? This is a journal prompt. How can I be happy with my life right now and content in my life right now in regards to those things? So let's just say you have a really, really noisy roommate who makes a lot of noise, or you're expecting to have really noisy roommates, or you expect that they're noisy. When you start to ask yourself this question, you'll realize your roommates aren't really that noisy. They really aren't that annoying. There's some other underlying issue that you are bothered by, and you think you need to get away from these roommates to get that certain solution. It's all about being content right now and knowing that you don't need that desire to get it. It's about, I can have these experiences right now in my current right now. I do not need to go to a house to get that experience. Because like I said before, you can have the job and you can lose it. You can have the relationship and you can lose it. But are you content to, if you lose that thing, you do not shift your emotions. You are still content. You are still happy. Because if things happen to you and then if things happen for you and then they leave your reality as a test, or they leave them as some sort of changing into something better, your emotions go to, like, they were here, they were happy, we have our wants, we have our needs, we have the job, and then when you lose it, they go down. The whole point of being able to manifest or keep your life being happy and continue being content is your normal is here. When things happen, like you go on a trip, something different, something amazing, or you get this big thing that's not an everyday thing, it dips up and then it goes back to normal. And then let's say you eat a really bad meal and you throw up and you're like, oh, that was gross. Ew, I don't like eating food poisoning, whatever. And it dips down because you feel sick for a few days and then it goes back to normal. That's the goal. The goal is, I'm normally content. I'm normally content. I'm normally content. That's actually an affirmation you can say. I normalize being content. My life is really content. I'm really happy with what I have. I'm grateful and happy that I'm experiencing the life that I have. And then you start to, like, when you close your eyes, you start to see, like, even for me, oh my, I'm literally sitting on YouTube right now with not a care in the world. I love recording videos. I love content creating. I love writing on the dry erase board with this marker. I love the fact that I have this computer and I can edit videos all day long if I wanted to. I make money in so many different ways, and I never have to worry about my wants and my needs. I'm literally sitting in front of a window staring at beautiful green trees, which are just gorgeous. I'm having such a good time right now. I just ate breakfast. I'm just like, I could go on for years just being grateful and content with what I have right now. So imagine you're content right now. You're like, oh, what I have is enough. What I have is great. Wouldn't you continue to send out the vibration that what you have is great? And that every time you get brought back some more energy, right? Because the pendulum always has to flow. It has to go from high to low, back and forth, up and down, left, right. So if I'm putting out this energy, there has to be something that's coming back to me to fill me back up with the energy I just gave. So if I'm like, I'm happy, I love my life, you're going to get back things that make you feel that same thing. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to stay in the same job or stay in the same relationship or have this mundane, boring life that's just repeating the same thing. Because you're a human that's going to evolve. You're a human that's going to continue to change your desires and change your wants. Like, maybe at one point having meal prep made you really happy, but now you're at another point in your life where having a chef makes you happy. Then you're going to send out the energy, oh my gosh, I love the ability to meal prep and always having money for groceries to meal prep my meals, and it's just so amazing. I'm so glad I even found the idea of meal prepping. Then you swing it back to you, and then you get something that makes you happy, and it could be the awareness of a chef. So when you're able to do this, and this is essentially transmutation, transmuting everything that you currently are experiencing into a happier, higher perspective. High vibe is simply a high perspective. When you have an argument with someone, but you're arguing with the intent to share your feelings, not the intent of just being upset and mad, that argument is actually good for you. Sharing your feelings is actually good for you. So it transmutes anything negative into something positive, because everything that you're going to experience is going to come back being good for you. Like, nothing comes back bad. That's the same. That's how you turn all these negative things into positive as well. Because if you are, I'm having this conversation, it's a little bit uncomfortable because this person is trying to argue with me down, but I'm going to stand on my 10 toes and I feel really confident in what I'm saying. And this is also showing me I trust myself. And what's going to swing back? You're still having a conversation in this argument, right? So technically it's negative, but you transmuted this thing that has to flow back to you as positive, because it reinforces your trust for yourself, because you're able to have this conversation. So instead of it like, oh my God, this person is so rude. Oh my God, they said something mean about me. Oh my God, they're lying to me. Or, oh my God, this thing is like so difficult. I don't want to argue with this person. And then it swings back. Oh my gosh, they just said something rude about me. Oh my God, they were trying to manipulate me. And then you swing back out manipulation energy. Then you start manipulating them. And then it just goes back and forth and creates this horrible, like negative, just like boring, like it's so much more fun to just transmute the negative things into positive. So again, yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like I have something else more to say, but stay content, be content. So, I mean, this is pretty much it. This is it. Like, what is your desire? It's that house. Write down all the things why you want that. I want this house because, and write as many things as you can possibly think of. I mean, if you can write 2-3 pages of reasons why you desire this house, then write them. And then ask yourself, how and where is this showing up right now? And then you find a way to have all of these feelings, right? Let's just say having a house makes me feel responsible. It makes me feel like I can take care of myself. It gives me the space to sing and dance and love my life in my own space, because you feel like you can't do that in an apartment for some reason. It gives me a larger kitchen to cook in. And then you can say, why do you want the larger kitchen to cook in? Oh, because I want to do XYZ in the kitchen. You're going to unravel these thoughts to the point where you realize, oh wait, I don't need a house to do that. I could do that in my apartment. And then even if you can't do it in your apartment, or that thing doesn't seem possible in the apartment, you'll think of a way. You'll be open to the awareness of a way to get that thing not in your apartment. Let's just say you wanted to do this great experience, but you can't do it because you live in an apartment. All of a sudden, your friend wants you to come over and y'all are going to do it at their house. Boom. Do you need a house for that? No. Because when you think about the house, there's a big process. Let's just think about it. Like, to most people, when you want something, the process is the part that takes the longest. Like, to find a house, to find a realtor, to inspect the home. And could take up to a year to be able to finish the process of buying a home. So why not just have it now? Why not just have the feeling now? Why not just have the desire now? Why not just have it right now? And then you'll get inspired action. Yep. Also, there's another thing I wanted to say. If you don't currently have it in your life right now, the best way to be content about not having it is to not think about it. Again, I think I said that earlier. I did. But don't think about it. If you don't have a job and you want a job, why are you thinking about a job? Don't think about a job. Let's actually do that. Let's do a real life example. And when this video goes live, I'm so excited for it. Let's go ahead and do this. I mean, I didn't have to erase that, but yeah. Also, preparing for the thing that you want if you don't have it. So if you want these things, ask yourself, how would I be acting? What would I be doing? What would I be wearing? How would I be showing up? What would I be how would I look? How would I speak? Where would I go? What would I wear if I was this thing or this person? If this thing was true. Well, if I had a house and I could park my car in the garage, I'd probably get my car washed a lot more often because I'd want to savor the wash of my car, keeping it in. Like, I wouldn't want to put a dirty car in my garage. I don't want to see that every day. So you start going to the car wash every day, or learning how to wash your car, or maybe you have a guy friend or a boyfriend who will wash your car for you. Like, things like that. What was I going to do on this thing? I forgot what I was going to do because I just got that thought. I mean, it doesn't really matter if I forget something. It's just like, there's no such thing as forgetting something. It just passed and it's not important anymore. Oh, I was going to do if you don't have that thing. I think that's what I was going to explain. You just don't worry about it. If you don't have that thing, you don't have the thing, just don't worry about it. And that's also how you become more present, is you don't worry about the future. You never say, oh my gosh, like I need a new job. You spend all your energy, you spend every single ounce of energy you have on right now. You do not think about tomorrow or the day after or the next day. Now, certain things you do have to think about, and you'll know when you need to think about them, but doing these exercises will also allow you to know when you don't need to focus on something. You're like, that's actually kind of stupid to worry about right now. I'm not going to worry about that. But if it's like, oh, I'm going to meal prep, let me figure out what I'm going to eat for the week. Like, duh, like, that's not a big deal to spend your energy on, because it's just something you're trying to get together now, instead of wasting your energy figuring out what you're going to eat every single day of the week. That's figuring it out in one day is more energy conservative than to figure it out every single day. That's why I personally meal prep, because I have the time to cook every day, but I don't want to wash the dishes every day. That's actually how I got to the desire of not wanting to cook every day, because I didn't want to cook every night. I felt like it was taking so much time. I felt like I was going out in the day, coming back home. I spent my entire night cooking, eating, going to the gym, and then sleeping. And I was like, absolutely not. So I just stopped. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to do that anymore. And then the idea, oh, you can just meal prep, came to my mind, and I haven't stopped since. And that was 4 or 5 months ago, probably. No, probably like 6 months. Yeah, and it's a lot easier. It's actually the best thing. Like, it's my favorite thing about life right now. What else do I want to share? So I kind of want to wrap it up. If somebody, there's another thing that needs to come out, but I'm gonna wrap up and hopefully that follows through. But there's another thing I just want to say. No, I just want to wrap up. Okay. So essentially, you have a desire. Now that you've watched this video, you know you don't need to have desires, and you know you don't need to worry about what you want. You don't need to worry about having the actual thing, because what that does is takes you out of the present, and it steals time from now to give it to something that doesn't exist, because only now exists. So if only now exists, you should only be giving your energy to right now. happy with right now, content with right now, you're going to start asking yourself, how can I be content right now? How can I be happy right now? How can I be grateful for this thing in right now? Because being grateful is going to make you content with what you have. Oh, there's another thing I want to say. I knew it was going to be the difference between wanting. I don't know if I touched on this, or maybe I didn't touch on it enough, and that's why. Yep, this is the last thing I need to talk about. Wanting and having. No, wanting and getting. Okay, there's a very big difference between wanting and getting. The issue with most people is that they want something, they really, really want something, and they don't know how to get it to become something else. They don't know how to cross this threshold right here is their issue. Like, this is their issue. They're like, I know what I want. I know I desire this. I know I desire that. I know what I want my life to look like. I know what I want it to look like. But I don't know how to get it to be something else. How do you get it to be something else? Right? When you get the idea of a thought of something that you want, you do exactly what I just told you. How can I be content right now? How is this thing showing up right now? How can I get all, like, remember, list all the reasons why you want that specific desire, that specific house, that relationship, that this, that, this amount of money, blah, 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 blah. And then say, how can I have them right now? And your initial thought's going to be, yep, this is the last thing. Your initial thought is going to be, I can't. I need the house. I need the car. Like, I need the thing. I need the thing to get the thing. But you have to realize, if you lose the car, then you didn't learn how to keep that emotion so that you can either bring in a new car, get a new car, get better transportation, get some type of sports car next time, or you never learned how to continue to get the thing. You just said, okay, well, I want this car, so I'm going to put in more hours at work. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do to get the car. I'm going to take out a humongous loan that's going to be $1,000 every single second until I die. And then after that, I'm going to drive around in the car. And then you get the car and you're like, oh, wait. All the things I wanted the car for aren't here. Because we think that the thing holds the energy, when really you hold the energy of the thing, and the desire comes to you to match, because you're matching the energy, you're matching the contentness, you're matching the having, you're matching the energy vibration of that thing by already being content with your life, because that car is going to bring you contentness. The thing you desire is what's going to make you happy. So if you're in content energy, you're going to bring things towards you that are going to continue to maintain that contentness in you. Whole story short, the whole video summed up in 2 seconds is, to manifest is to not worry about what you want. Never think about what you want. It doesn't even matter really what you want. What is that? Stay content, stay happy, using gratitude. And you will, once you start doing that too, that's it. But once you start doing that too, you're never gonna care about it. Like, once you get into a point where you're so content with life, you're not gonna care about changing the money, changing the relationship, changing. You're going to be so content. You're like, I don't need anything to change. And that's when it all changes, because you have the energy of having. That is what I learned in 6 years. That's what I learned in 6 years of having multiple coaches, multiple mentors, spending an unreasonable amount of money. Not unreasonable. I'm just using that as a word because that's like a trigger word for people. Spending, I don't have any earrings in. Spending a pretty chunk of money. These are so cute. Are you kidding? Look at this. My nails look ridiculous, but it's okay. But yeah, once you start to be content, these are so cute. Once you start to be content, you don't want anything else. Everything else is like a extra. And when it's extra, it's like, I could go without it. I don't need to change what I'm doing. I don't need to change how life is. I'm okay with how everything is. Like, I don't need anything else. That's when you start to get everything. And I literally do this every single day. And it's not on purpose. It's unconscious. Because once you start to be content, you can't stop being content with life. It's like, once you learn to be content with life, life is not like, oh my gosh, well, I was content for 30 days and what I wanted didn't show up, so now I'm not going to be content. Like, that's not how it works. You're gonna stay in your content energy, and you're never going to ever need to be wanting ever again. The goal is to get out of wanting energy. So that's it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Actually, I probably will never post again on this channel. This is the only video you need.